Alright, I'm in a better mood right now. So, here's from a review that I imagine would be a good idea to do. I could have reviewed the earlier games, but I imagine people don't really care about those at the moment. Maybe I'll just explain it later. I don't know. But, this is a review of SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. Now, I don't have any actual footage of me playing the game because, I imagine I would have to record onto a DVD or something, which I don't have a DVD recorder attached to my computer. TV in any way. So I have no way of I can record it onto a VCR, but that doesn't really help. So I've been sitting on that game ever since I bought it. Of course, I haven't played it that much now, but I guess I'll give my best explanation and try and insert some stuff into the background. So, the game, if you played 2007, you probably are very familiar with the kind of idea of the gameplay and most stuff like that. Most obvious changes is the updated roster. So-called updated really didn't help at all. There's a lot of guys that should have been in the roster that aren't, and there's a lot of people that you'd want to be in a roster, but they weren't put. Some of the weirdest changes was Hulk Hogan is nowhere to be found in this game. Not only that, but his moves, his entrance, everything about him is gone. So I don't know how to, you really can't create him anymore. So you can't even create him as a created character, and that is really bad. The same thing with Chris Benoit, which I have an idea for. They probably were embarrassed of his death. It really pissed me off, though, that he's gone, so you're not going to be able to create him, and he's just really pathetic to see that kind of response out of the developers. They should have just left some stuff from him in there. He's too influential to just leave him in it, but of course if they did that with Hulk Hogan, they probably don't give a shit. So the other roster changes. There's no more Rob Van Dam. There's no more Kurt Angle. Obviously, I don't think they could have gotten away with that. There's no Big Show. Big Show has been removed. There's no there's missing. There's other characters that probably can be mentioned. Some big ones. There's no more Trevor Murdoch and on Can's Cave or whatever. Don't remember exactly the names, but they're gone. Other people are gone. Some of them are kind of obvious because they don't wrestle anymore, and I already mentioned some of those. But you just wish they would have still been in the game because I miss the fact that they took out people like the Big Show and Rob Van Dam. It annoys me. And I really miss Chris Benoit because he's one of my favorite characters to play as in those games. So, of course, it's a little bit of a problem. So, not too much. About this game's that different. The animations are recycled, most of them. Some of them were revamped. The entrances were increased, so they had to revamp the animations in a little bit. They had to add a little bit more. It's okay, but most of it's familiar. And some of you people may like the shorter entrances better. Me personally, I do like that they are longer, but at the same time, some of them are so boring. Like the Great Khali's entrance can be so boring, you do not want to watch it, the entire thing, each time it shows up. You just skip it. And other people, even though Undertaker's thing is really cool, it's so long. They're now over a minute long, which is a long time to be sitting there watching an entrance. They might as well bring back the No Mercy thing where they only walk to the stage, and they don't even get into it. And that would make it a lot quicker, but, they're trying to make it like the show, so... But I don't remember the show being that long when it comes to them coming out to the ring. And, of course, that makes the loading screens longer. I have to say, though, that's probably the first thing that will come to mind. How are the loading times? Well, the loading times are... kind of, I don't know if they're longer or shorter. I don't time them. They do seem to be a little bit shorter, though, for some weird reason. They don't seem as long as 2007's were. They revamped the loading screens so there's actually things to read on there. They, instead of like in the previous game where you had this big sheet of character stats and stuff, so you got to read stuff about certain wrestlers. They're on the loading screens now. That's a good thing, and that's a bad thing. The good thing is it's entertaining to read those while the loading screen's going. The bad thing, though, is they're you can't read them very fast. Like, sometimes they'll go by too fast, and you can't choose which ones you're going to see and which ones you aren't. So, due to that, you can't go over and go to a little section and be able to read all of them. You're going to have to wait for a loading screen, and then particularly to show up to understand them. I don't know what their idea was, but it's really annoying sometimes. Some other problems is a little minor complaints. When the matches start off the loading screen at the beginning, instead of the typical the match star, they have this loading fourth loading screen show up, and you get to click enter when you're ready. They just start off the match. I know it's less loading screens, but it starts you off and you're not prepared. Now for the gameplay, they changed the moveset again. I mean, they changed the controller setup again. And at first I thought that was a terrible idea, but it's okay. You can live with it. If you played 2007 and gotten used to their default moveset or controller setup, then you're going to be used to it. It's going to be okay. Now, and they have fixed some problems with the old moveset. So instead of the typical press a button and you run automatically and you can't control where you're running to, that's no longer there. So now we have a new system where you hold a button down, particularly your shoulder button, and you just typically walk, but you're going to be running instead, and you can actually turn. So you can run around in circles around your opponent and stuff. It's a really nice thing to do. It's a very good improvement. I'm gonna have to zoom right real fast, so I'm gonna start concluding this thing. Some other things going on. The video is kind of, the game itself, the graphics are kind of similar, very recycled. The created character, the faces are different, but the bodies are the same, so that's basically all the differences. Not too big of a difference. The created character is very good. They fixed the models a lot, so you have more selections and stuff. So it's cool. They fixed some of the glitches that were with 2007, like now you actually can make the body. Now you can choose certain things that in the previous game you either couldn't color or it would glitch and make the game freeze when you try to load it up in an actual match. It doesn't do that anymore, and the entrances are better because now the music doesn't go off in the middle of the entrance if your entrances are too long or something. It doesn't do that. They fixed that glitch. Now the moveset is the worst. They've totally, they just went in there and just started snipping moves out. So you're going to have a lot of missing moves. And they brought back some moves that were missing from 2007, but if you need an example, the original SmackDown vs. Raw has the best moveset out of all of them. The new moves are really, there's so little of them, you don't care. And they've taken out so many moves that you're going to be pissed off. There's a lot of missing moves and you're not going to enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it at all. So, also the new system of your characters move things, that's okay. A lot of times you have to guess, though, because they don't tell you what exactly those things are. Rob Van Dam could have fit in 4 of those categories. Ended up you could only choose 2, so I didn't even know that he was supposedly a brawler and a high flyer. I thought he would have had hardcore showman in there, but they didn't put. He's not apparently in there. So his movesets aren't there. The typical movesets, you have to set them up right. You have to get the right things. Big Show is for some reason Powerhouse and Showman. I didn't even know that. Tajari's Brawler and Showman. I didn't know that either. It's really guesswork. They don't tell you. You have to look it up on the internet to find out, just like the previous games, but it's more annoying. So besides the movesets, everything else is pretty much the same.